Hello, my name is Pylon John, and we are back in the city of Montmaquis, in the beautiful French Alps. On top of the recent parliamentary elections in France, I was enticed to come back by the Economy 2.0 patch, the Detailers patch, and of course, all the wonderful mods now available. So the first question is, how is Montmaquis doing with Economy 2.0? Well, I had to disable a bunch of buildings to keep costs down, but other than that, we're doing okay. Our city is pretty well suited for the new economy because it's compact and fairly dense, with very little low-density housing, mostly medium density. So I was prepared to use the 529 tiles mod to lower the new tile upkeep cost, but actually, I don't really need to. Before going any further, sorry for the weird cropping in this video. I was playing around with my screen capture software and forgot to change the settings back. Anyway, back to mods. I'm going to try not to go overboard with the mods, at least not in this series, but there are a few that I am pretty excited about, like better Bulldozer and the ability to delete fences like this one around our central plaza. I think this was possible before with dev mode, but mods like this just make it so much simpler. I'm also going to use the Anarchy mod, which will allow me to do stuff like connect the pedestrian path in this park to the pedestrian road, although I don't really like what it does to the pedestrian road. Anyway, it was at this point that we hit the big city milestone, milestone 11, which unlocks an increased loan limit. While trying to connect these paths, I noticed that they sometimes try to go up and over the trees. I only realized later on that I need to disable the new snap to surface option that has been added to the other snapping options. I'm also using a few other mods for quality of life and visual effects, like the map texture replacer. You might have noticed the terrain looks a little different, especially when we look at the mountains, for example. Here's another thing we were previously doing with developer mode, but can now do with mods: placing invisible pedestrian paths. So one of the side effects of the Economy 2.0 patch is a giant death wave. Just now, we were up over 700 deaths per month, but now it's down a little to 575. And in order to avoid the exorbitant cost of using outside services, I had to build a crematorium. Another side effect is a spike in unemployment. It's at about 18% now, but apparently lowering taxes will bring it down. One of the austerity measures I implemented was shutting down the city's main landmark, the Notre Dame Cathedral. But that doesn't mean we can't use some of the new tools at our disposal to liven up this pedestrian road a little bit while we wait for the cathedral to reopen. In fact, I don't think props actually cost anything, so that seems like a good idea. Using the Find It mod, I'm going to search for garden lights. I can use these as bollards, like this. Their colors don't all match, but surprisingly that doesn't bother me too much. And then I'll place some at the other end of the road. I'm using the line tool mod for this. Next, I'll put some tables and chairs out in front of what I imagine to be restaurants. What's this? Ship passenger table. Yeah, that could work here. Maybe a couple of these over here. And some of these over here. Now, because of the game's wonky zoning system, nothing has developed in this space, as the grid is actually oriented toward Rue Gaspard on the left. But if we plop a building of the appropriate type here, facing Rue de la Cathédrale, it should be okay, right? There is a filtering option here, but I'll just type what I want in the search bar. We want European style mixed use, And I only plop level 1 buildings so I don't mess up the economy's leveling system. I'll place some food carts and stalls along the other side of the street, again using the line tool mod. And I guess our oil fields have pumped enough black gold to give us access to the fuel plant signature building. I don't know if I really want to build our economy around oil. What I will do is place some picnic tables here. Although it's listed as table set commercial, if you search for picnic, this is all you get. We'll place a few trash bins here and there as well. It looks like our death rate and our unemployment rate are both down. Meanwhile, we're making money and our population is booming. We're over 21,000 now, so I'd say things are going pretty good for Montmaquis. So here's what Rue de la Cathédrale looks like now. Although there's nothing to stop vehicles from driving through our newly placed props. I tried to leave them enough space, but this is fine. Now, the dude on the radio keeps saying that our commercial district is booming, but we have no commercial demand and all the businesses along the waterfront are empty. Oh, yep, this one too. Even though there's a sign up. This says it's taxes that are limiting our commercial demand, so let's go ahead and lower our commercial tax rate. Although it doesn't seem like anything I do increases commercial demand, it might just be a new bug in the game. I'm also going to play around with the tax rate for some of our industries. For example, we have ore mining, we should have metal production. I was excited to try out the Move It mod in Montmaquis, specifically to create wall-to-wall medium-density housing like this. But I noticed a small problem here. The building on the left is at level 4, and the one on the right has gone up to level 5. So unless I lock the building levels, or they all reach level 5, merging buildings together isn't going to look right, so I'll just move these back for now. The university is one of the buildings I had to deactivate in order to keep Montmaquis above water in this brave new economy. I just built it in the last episode, 4 real-life months ago. In fact, it was building this new highway to bypass the university that triggered a bug that kept causing the game to crash. I look forward to coming back to it and finally getting to develop the area once we have a bit more of a financial cushion. I'm glad that Colossal Order thought to add new service buildings at different price points, especially with the challenge presented by Economy 2.0. Since this is a game, we're pretending that the police actually do serve and protect. Still, we might want to consider downgrading to a small police station to save money. Although, we now also need to factor in wages, which aren't indicated here. But it doesn't really make sense to downgrade since it looks like this station is actually over capacity, and the other one is almost. What about upgrading to an urban police station? It's $220,000 plus $30,000 a month for a jail capacity of 40, and we go from 6 to 16 patrol cars. The building seems alright in terms of scale, but it looks just a little too, I don't know, North American? At least for the old part of Montmaquis. Like, it's giving me 1970s FBI vibes. I think I'll keep the old station for now. And how about our education system? It looks like we're just under capacity for elementary, high school, and college. So far, we've got 4 elementary schools, 1 high school, and 1 college. And we really do need that university. And let's start with our elementary schools. We have two in the old part of town, in the Notre-Dame-des-Martyrs neighborhood. They've both been upgraded to maximum capacity already, so I might want to consider replacing them with an urban elementary school, but I do like the look of the red roofs in the old town, so I might just keep them. How about this one over here? Do I want to upgrade it? Or do I want to build a new school? Let's look at the new small elementary school. 40,000 bucks plus 5,500 a month for a student capacity of 400. That's pretty tiny though. That would fit well in a rural kind of setting, but not here. And the urban elementary school, it's 1.5 times the price for 1.5 times the students, but not 1.5 times the upkeep cost. And yeah, that's a chonker. That's a chunky boy. It would just eclipse anything in the old town. The small high school is half the initial price and half the upkeep cost for half the student capacity. And again, this looks like it would do better in a suburb maybe than in Montmaquis. And the urban high school, it's the same initial price, same upkeep cost, and the same student capacity as the regular high school. So what incentive is there left to choose the regular high school? And this one isn't superimposing like the urban elementary school. I could see this fitting in somewhere here. Maybe over here along Boulevard des Partisans. And yeah, there's already a high school on the other side of town. I figured we need one in Notre-Dame-des-Martyrs. And this just looks great here. It's just the right size and it blends right in. It's a beautiful asset. I'll just assign it to the Notre-Dame-des-Martyrs district and the Michelet district on the other side of the river. I just want to see how it looks next to the urban elementary school and yeah, that thing is enormous. So yeah, I think I'll just upgrade this one with an extension wing for now. And let's give the college an extension wing too while we're at it. That should take care of capacity for now. But we will need a second one eventually, and I'd love to put it in the middle of this area, which will probably become our downtown. Although it is a little too big. It's worth mentioning that upgrade buildings no longer need to be directly attached to the buildings that they're upgrading, just in the vicinity. A good idea lifted from the last SimCity game. Anyway, here I'll do a little detailing to make the new urban high school look even better. And you just saw me figure out that I need to disable snapping to surface in order to get the trees to sit inside of the flower beds and not on top of them. I also figured out that mixing up the ages of the trees prevents them from all dying at the same time. We needed the tree controller mod for that before, but now it's incorporated into the base game. I'll just finish this up with some benches and a few trash bins. Another new service building I want to look at is the urban firehouse. It only costs a little bit more than the regular firehouse, and like the urban high school, I think it'll be a good fit here. And there we go. I cozied it right up next to the radio mast, which leaves us a little room for development. Although I had to move a bus stop so that it wouldn't block the fire trucks. And moving bus stops is a pain. You can break your whole zoning grid if you're not careful. I'll just zone this all mixed use, and with all the demand we have, even for more medium density residential, it'll develop right away. Our fire coverage is looking pretty good, except for this industrial area and this other industrial area. We'll have to work on that. Well, our unemployment rate is down to 4.2, but our death rate is back up to about 500 a month. But the death wave was supposed to be over by now. Another problem is the housing crisis. With housing demand soaring, there are a lot of unhoused people living in the park, and the regular people doing yoga have to look at them. Gross. So we're not going to downsize to the new small medical clinic, and we're not quite ready for a full-size hospital yet, so we'll just need to make some upgrades to our existing medical clinic here in the old town. I'll add an ambulance depot and an extension wing. Again, it doesn't have to be directly attached to the building anymore, but doing that could save some zonable space. Right here on the side looks like the best spot for it. Nice. Now I want to try a little experiment here. Without using the Plot the Growables mod, I want to see if I can get a medium density residential building that's 3 units wide to fit into a space that's only 2 units wide, a zone space that's only 2 units wide. I'm going to try to use Move It to get every part of the building over at least some of the zoned grid, but that doesn't seem to be enough. Mixed use it is then. Oh, I forgot there's no 2x3 mixed use buildings. Another new feature is that you can disable sub-buildings or just demolish them entirely, which is what I'm going to do with this ambulance depot. We don't really need it. Ambulance availability isn't the problem here. Oh no, we have a fire, and it's in the industrial area where I just said our fire protection is poor. And if you've been watching my Hadaway series, you know how I feel about fires. Although I've heard they spread less quickly now since the update. Will the fire truck make it here in time? Will it Wi-Fi the water into the building? No, it looks like it's gonna drive right inside, and this van too. And this garbage truck is gonna follow them into the burning building. But the person driving this car has enough sense to park outside. Anyway, whatever happened in there, I'm just glad the fire's out. This industrial area was meant to be temporary. I'll need to clear it out eventually. I also want to move my waste management facilities away from the river and up here. The radio keeps telling me that my road conditions are bad, and unlike my commercial district booming, that actually seems to be true, so I'd better increase the budget for road services. We've had a lot of car accidents in Montmaquis, probably because of the poor road conditions, but thankfully they don't seem to have been too serious. We don't seem to have any casualties. Oh, there's one. Let's check in on Menna. How's she doing? She recently moved in with Nancy Harley after breaking up with Jackie Quinn, but it says she's homeless and unemployed, but she's wealthy. Also, it looks like her kid died. And here she is now, just hanging out by this fire hydrant. We really need to build some more housing, don't we? Oh no, what's this dog gonna do to the fire hydrant? Well, our death rate is back up to 751 a month. And our crematorium is at 7 times its handling capacity. But I haven't seen any problems in terms of people waiting for hearses or bodies not getting picked up or anything like that, so whatever. I think we'll wrap it up here for today, but I like where things are going. I'm looking forward to the future of this game and the future of Montmaquis. And if I can ask you for a favor, or maybe 2 small favors, help the channel out by hitting the like button and dropping a comment below. Thank you for watching. I'm Pylon John. Until next time, Free Palestine.